It is Paris Saint-Germain at home to Liverpool. Now, PSG's Champions League campaign in the league phase was a mess. They beat Girona 1-0, then they lost away to Arsenal, drew at home with PSV, lost at home to Atleti, lost away to Bayern. Then they beat Salzburg, but everybody beat Salzburg. Then they went 2-0 down at home to Man City, and it looked like they were done. At that point, it looked like they were going out of this competition. They were sitting outside of the top 24 and looking just like a lost cause. And then they just, between their attack kicking into gear and City just completely falling apart, they managed to win the game 4-2. Then they went to Stuttgart and won 4-0. 4-1. Then they drew Brest in the knockout phase. A little bit unfortunate for Brest to get this club. But the thing for me, Karl, is, right, the scoreline ends 10-0 in aggregate. I watched both games. The first leg could easily have been 3-3. Easily. Brest hit the woodwork twice, missed a big chance, and Donnarumma nearly put one into his own net with a clearance that hit an oncoming attacker. And in the second leg, it was 2-0 to PSG, and it should have been 2-2, because Brest again had missed two massive chances. And then Brest just fell apart, and PSG ran the score up. So that it looks hugely impressive on paper. But the balance of those games up until about the 55th minute of the second leg, it was really, really close between them. Now, PSG are on a bit of a tear domestically as well. They obviously unbeaten in the league, and they're scoring for fun. Put 5 past Brest in the league, 4 past Monaco, 4 past Lille at the weekend. The attack is really starting to click into gear. You've got Ousmane Dembele in phenomenal form. Bradley Barcola's having a great season. Gonçalo Ramos is actually having a decent season. Desiree Doué's having a good season. You've got Kvicha there now, obviously, as well, in midfield. Fabian Ruiz has been very good. Vitinha's, I think he's hit and miss, but he's in good form at the moment. Zaire Emery, I adore. And João Neves is having a really good first year for them. They are a threat going forward. And maybe the biggest threat to us, just because of the attacking pace and creativity and skill that they have. But I do have question marks about them defensively. And I do think we maybe can overpower them in midfield.
Well, I think that's somewhere we'll have to win it. Because I don't see us shutting out this attack twice, for sure. We've seen the good and the bad of Liverpool's midfield, I think, over the last few matches as well. So I would imagine, given the opponents, given the names there, given the occasion, the competition, the players that we have and the mentality that they have, they will step up and they will put in a good performance on that. I completely expect that from them. But at the same time as PSG's technical ability, we have to look at the confidence that they're going to be in from a men's perspective as well. They've won 19 and drawn 1 of their last 20 games. That is a ridiculous run. Like, no matter what league you're in, no matter what competitions or your opponents, that kind of consistency is exceptional. And like you say, they've gone out in January and to boost their ability, their energy levels, their final third quality, they've sort of basically effectively swapped Randall Kolo Muani for Kvicha Kvaratskhelia, which is maybe the biggest upgrade since, we took David Ngog off and brought Fernando Torres on as sub, So it's pretty enormous. And Bradley Barcola there is having himself a storming season.
Yeah.
Kvicha seems to be effectively playing right wing rather than left because Barcola is so good and so important. I think Luis Enrique has kind of got a tune out of his midfield in terms of not just organisation and dominance of the ball, but also off the ball work. Like you said, Vitinha, he might be hit and miss, but I think he brings a lot of that industry and effort that was missing from their midfields previously and from the wider teams previously. So it's going to be a really, really big battle. And although I do think that I would prefer our midfield to theirs, if you give them the time on the ball that we have, let's say against Man City recently, I would have concerns there because they are
Mm.
easily good enough and easily confident enough to really punish you for that.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. All of these midfielders that they have the individual quality to pick you apart, and they've got options. You know, they can throw different looks at you. You know, if it's Neves, Zaire Emery, and Vitinha, it's one thing. If you swap any of them out and bring in Fabian Ruiz, it's a different look altogether. And they're all clicking, they're all in form, and that's concerning. And they've just got like these wing options that they've got are what really concern me. You know, Barcola's playing out of his mind. I adore the kid. I think you've been on him for years as well. Like if we were looking for the perfect left winger this summer, given Kvich is now off the table, Bradley Barcola would be the one. I don't see any world in which they'd now sell him. Given, well, I don't know. Is Kvich happy playing on the right wing? Possibly not, but he's certainly not grumbling at the moment. They do have Desiree Doué there as another option to come in. They've got Lee Kang In, who can be dangerous. He's got pace and he's quite skillful. And then this Usman Dembele thing is just they've moved him into a false nine sort of position. And not only is he still doing the Usman Dembele things of, you know, dropping into wide areas and beating people for fun, he's also become a bit of a poacher, which I don't think anybody saw coming. But we probably should have, because if you look back at his early career at Dortmund, he did score some real poacher type goals. And the fact that he can shoot so well off both feet make him really tough to stop, because you can't show him on to a weaker foot because he doesn't have a weaker foot. I agree with you. I don't see us keeping 2 clean sheets here. They're going to score, I think, a couple of goals. So we're going to have to be right on it. Now, where I do think we can get at them is defensively. So you've got Hakimi at right back. He is one of the best right backs in the world, but he can be a little bit lax defensively, and he can get caught a little bit high up the pitch sometimes. So if you do create turnovers against them, the space he's left behind can be somewhere to attack. It's the same on the left side, where Nuno Mendes is great going forward, dynamite player, but he's very questionable defensively. He's not a good defender. He's got the tools to potentially be a good defender, but he's nowhere close to it right now. In the middle, you've got Marquinhos will start. He's their captain. He's been incredible for them over the years. He might be in the running to be PSG's greatest ever player. He's been there 12 years. At one point, he was one of the very best defenders in the world. I do think he slipped a little bit. And I think part of that is just not having elite competition to go up against week in, week out at domestic level. But he's still capable of great performances. And obviously, we don't offer a great number 9 threat. The position next to him, it could be William Pacho, who was linked with us in the summer. Really good Ecuadorian centre-back, left-footed. They've got Lucas Beraldo, another really talented young defender, Brazilian. Lucas Hernandez is still there. Now, he's not playing regularly. He can play centre-back or left-back, but he's had a lot of injuries, and he has fallen off, I think, quite a bit. And Presnel Kimpembe is finally back playing football, though only a handful of appearances this year. But he's a bit of a liability. I just think that defense is not, individually, they're all great names, but the mix of it isn't quite what you would want for an elite level team. It might not matter with that attack, but it is where they are weaker.
Yeah, I agree. And that's, kind of leads on to Liverpool's team selection, I think, because you're probably going to have to go with something which is very, very strong defensively, but able to really exploit with either movement or pace in attack. So, I mean, we'll go through our predicted lineup now, maybe quickly, but I think this is a particularly good example of why a match I would say Darwin doesn't even get a look in, never mind is considered for starting. I just don't think.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Let's start with the attack then. Mo is starting, so we know that. I think there's only two options here, Karl. It is Jota 9, Diaz left, or Diaz 9, Gakpo left. I don't think there'll be an alternative to that. I don't think we're going to see Gakpo and Jota. I did wonder if maybe he could go Diaz left side and Gakpo through the middle, but he hasn't done Gakpo through the middle this season. What do you think he's going to do?
I think he's going to start Diaz through the middle again and leave Jota as a sub to come on a bit later on. I think I would probably prefer Jota to start in terms of, ability and where I like him to play in that. But Gakpo kind of deserves to be back in the team if he's fit. And, he came on for half an hour last time out against Newcastle. It's fine. Obviously, that was his first one back from injury and first reasonable amount of minutes back from injury. And I think he is kind of playing well enough to be part of Slot's first team now. So maybe the fact that he has a bit of pace and Diaz does on the counter as well, plus we're away, maybe that gets them in ahead of Jota to start with.
There is one alternative here. Do you think it's possible he goes with the 4 in midfield setup again?
Yes.
Given it's the away leg, given it's, such a big game, could he go with what he went with against City, where he goes with Mo and Diaz as sort of just two wide attackers, and then you go Curtis, Dom, Alexis and Gravenberch as a midfield 4. Like, if Diaz plays the 9, I'd expect him to play the way he did against Leverkusen, particularly in that second half where he was dropping more into midfield and almost forming a midfield 4 anyway. But I wonder, would he do that with Diaz through the middle or Diaz on the left and the 4th midfielder in?
Like the Reds, it's Jack here, and that was a clip from one of Anfield Index's audio podcasts. If you have enjoyed the video, make sure you do like, share and subscribe to keep up to date on all things LFC. We record around 100 audio podcasts every month, with our shows featuring match-going fans, top journalists, professional analysts and even Liverpool legends along the way, with the Great Dane himself, Jan Molby, joining us every single week. If you want to listen to all our podcasts for free, head over to anfieldindex.com/podcasts. Our audio shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Anfield Index. Or if you prefer to listen to all our podcasts in full and without any ads, why not head over to AI Pro today to check it out now at anfieldindexpro.com. If you want to get involved in the great growing community of Liverpool fans, check out the Anfield Index Discord. The link is in the description. Do get involved with that from Reds around every corner of the globe. For now, Reds, hope you enjoyed this video.